Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It is so good to see you today. I see I've got lots of questions already. And yeah, I'm looking forward to answering them. But first, as always, we're going to go ahead and just start with the weekly sort of read on the week. What do we need to know? Hello, hello. And just a reminder to all of you, I'm not going to be here next week. I'm going away for a week-long retreat and training and some alchemical qigong. So I'm going to come back all powered up, but yeah, I won't be here next Tuesday. Okay. So I think first we're going to work with some animal energy and animal cards. When we look at what is it that we most need for this week, what is it that is calling for us to settle into? So we move out of August and into September. I'll probably be doing a September energy update soon as well. So keep your eyes out for it. Let's see what we got. Okay. Ah, powerful. So we've got the black snake energy for this week and for the collective. So those of you in India and Nepal, you probably know snake Shiva, right? That higher consciousness, moving through the higher consciousness and the higher energies and flow. Also looking at the Kundalini and the energy rising from the earth up to the sky. So there is that power of snake, of transformation, of shift, of shedding skin as well. What do we need to let go of? And what also is rising through us, both in a sense of what's true for our highest path and our highest purpose here in the world. That name of this card says grow your truth, right? And so I think this next week, the invitation and the message for us is to come into a space where, again, we honor and own the power of our heart and the power of our soul, and we let go of all that is no longer important, and that is no longer like sort of needed. Where are we holding on to old patterns? Where are we holding on to old energy? And where can we open up and blossom in a much greater way? So some big uploads this week and some big opportunities to let go and to say goodbye to what's not serving us. And to trust in the innate path that is sort of driving us forward. September is often a time of like getting busy, getting practical, moving forward. And to me, I see this beautiful card as this opportunity to really shift and break through old patterns and sort of push us in an energetic flow, an energetic aspect of where it is we truly need to go, right? Let's let go of the old, let's open to the new, and let's trust in that bigger process. So very, very powerful. And I think I just want to stick with that for now. I think that feels really good as far as for the week. So a time of transformation, opening into our greater powers, but also of release and also of a letting go. So let's see. I'm going to go back up and we'll just go in the order. I hope everyone's here that left these first couple messages, but I will leave them. And if not, they can catch them on the screen. So hello, Kriti. It's good to see you. Good to have you here. And so we're checking in on a niche and a niche's energy. Now, one of the things that comes through is so a couple of people, and I know it's really exciting to ask about love and energy. A lot of times when we're asking the same questions, we'll get similar answers or sometimes a little bit awareness. And so that's the same. And sometimes it's like, I don't want to say it's hard for the messages to come through, but it's like, it's sort of like, where is the clarity when we keep checking in? And so sometimes, as you'll notice, I'll probably bring other questions or other things around it, just than what the energy is, especially when it comes to love, right? Because sometimes when there's these holding patterns in love, and Kriti, this just isn't for you. This is for a lot of us, right? A lot of the questions that come up here is these patterns in love, like when it's like, oh, I'm waiting, and I want something to move or I want something to shift and I want to know the answer. Sometimes some of the bigger answers that come through actually have to do more just for ourselves, right? As people and in our experience and our process. So this goes for all of us that are checking in on our beloveds. Okay. So what does Kriti most need to know around a niche? Hmm. So again, the reminder I think for you is to stay balanced. I'm going to end it with the major arcana card. So Anish is like sort of big energy, and he's energy that comes in and he shakes stuff up. So Kriti, my sense and my feeling is like there's some real excitement around Anish, and there's this excitement and this energy, and he's sort of like daring and I don't want to say like a bad boy. He's like not a bad boy, but like he's a little confusing, right? He's carrying with him a lot of energy, a lot of flow. He comes in really quick. I do think there's interest there and that he does like you a lot, but he's not willing to commit or he's not willing to make clear his feelings, which then can take you on a ride, right? Where you're like, oh my God, like, how do I feel? And I'm feeling stuck. And can I imagine this? And sometimes one day it's like things feel really good. And sometimes things like feel not so good. And so you sort of go all over the place in your head with that. And with that, the major arcana was a sense of imbalance. So my sense is there is an attraction from Anish to you, and there's a desire of him to I don't even know if I want to say be with you. I think there is a sense of being with you, but also to play with you, right? Like he likes the game a little bit and like he likes to shake things up a little bit. So your job is to sort of be like, okay, first of all, is this what I want? It's fun to flirt. It's fun to have fun. And yet it's not about getting super serious with him or within him, at least at this time. And don't let him shake you off your path. Don't let him shake you off your day to day because he's not necessarily ready to come to a settling place yet. And that doesn't mean again that he's like bad boy or anything like that, like, but that he's just, part of his energy and part of what's exciting, shake things up. And so your greater job is to say, well, I'm going to enjoy it or not. But if I do enjoy it, where can I find center and where can I come to a place of balance within this? So I hope that makes sense. So beautiful, Jenny. It's good to see you. And so here we go. So next one is Dipshika. And hi, Dipshika. It's so nice to see you. And so we've got Abish in this one. So Anish and then Abish. And I'll check in with you if Abish is for you or a girl name. I think it's Ayasta. Okay, let's see what we've got. Okay. For those of you just joining in, feel free to leave your message. So my sense is with you, it's not like he likes you or her, but yeah, right now there's a lot of energy. My sense is with Abish, he's not someone you want to put a lot of energy or time into. He might be showing up in one way. We have the King of Pentacles, but it's in reverse. So he might show up as like, I'm stable, I'm steady, I can really give you a lot, I can support you a lot, but it's upside down. So he's not necessarily being honest all the time about his feelings or being in that space of connection. I don't think it's that he likes one of you over the other one, but it's more like he likes to sort of play some games. We have the Hanged Man in reverse. So that can mean movement. He can like come to you with some flow, come to you with some energy, but it also can mean a disconnection from spirit, right? And a disconnection from higher source and higher truth. My sense is he's not ready at this time to really settle down. And yet within that, it's important for you to be patient, because if you be patient and you just step back and really look at like what it is that I've grown in myself or what it is that I want to put the energy into myself, where do I want to look at like how good things are, regardless of what Abish is doing or not. And then fortune and energy will come your way. And this fortune and energy is very big. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't necessarily think that this fortune and energy is with Abish. It might be, but it's more in the bigger picture and the bigger story with someone that is here and that is ready to show up for you with opportunities for you that are much bigger and that feel really good. And then this last card's going to be a little scary, but it's in reverse, and it's the Tower. And then that's going to come in and change things, and it's going to really shift things for you and be unexpected. Now, the Tower can feel really scary, right? Because it's big and it's people jumping out, and in reverse, it's not as bad, but it's big change, right? And so the sense is like to step back, stand back a little bit, let Abish have this time with Ayasta, or let him sort of play the games and really like take time for yourself, because fortune is coming and energy is coming for you, and it's going to make big change and shift, but it's almost like you have to give it that space and that time. And really, like, it's so easy for me to say, right? Really trust in the process, and let go of the idea of where that needs to come from and where that fortune needs to come from. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. And so next we're with beautiful Soulful. It's so good to be with you, Soulful. And I hope you're doing well. So let's check in on the energy of Midi. For those of you that are just joining, feel free to leave any questions. Feel free to share where you're looking for guidance with today. And let's just see. What does Soulful need to know about Midi? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Lots of confusion in love right now. That's all I'm going to say. And lots of back and forth, I say, with love. I'll show you the last three cards I picked. They're not that exciting. So on one level, there's movement, there's desire, there's flow. Mehdi wants to show up. He wants to be there. He wants to be clear. He wants things to flow for you, right? This is the Eight of Wands. It's like there's energy, there's flow. There's like, here I am. I'm showing up. I'm going to make things happen. But then we have the Fool in reverse, which is like, nope, but now we got to stop. Like, this is not either a good situation, or there's been a little bit of, I don't want to say deception, but stagnancy, or things that are holding back. There's something there that's like you can't necessarily trust the full picture or trust the full process. Again, normally when this comes up in the cards like this, it's like the guy is not like able right now to fully show up. So yes, there's energy and there's flow, but then it's like, oh, we're going to put the brakes on it, right? And then that's confusing. And then the last three cards I got is that for you, it's really about a time of peace, of introspection. It's like not focusing too much on what could happen, but like being with the beauty that is. I think one of the things we've talked about in past readings is this opportunity and these other opportunities that might be showing up for you, whether it be with work or school, things like that. And again, don't over focus on those, but like what do you have in front of you that's calling for you to be excited, to move forward, to go into a higher space or higher place, and bring your awareness there, and things will manifest from there. And then with the energy of Mehdi, just as we saw, it's like, again, stagnancy. This is the Ace of Wands in reverse, Fool in reverse. So even though he might be showing up with love, or he does have attraction and love for you, he's not ready to make this change yet. He's not ready to go ahead for it fully. And then we had the King of Swords, which is this, just again, he's too much in his head. We had the Prince of Swords and the other one, like there's just too much like of an inability right now to commit or to show up, own processes that they're moving through. And so again, the invitation is to really rest within yourself. And what is it that's going good? And where is it that you want to put your energy and trust in that process and that opening? So I hope that makes sense. And it's good to have you with us. And dear Sakshi, it's so good to be with you. I hope you're doing well. I so appreciate you. I appreciate all your comments when you watch my things, and just so lovely. I'm smiling so bright at you right now. I just hope you can feel it. And welcome everybody. Feel free to leave a question if you're just signing in, where you're from, where you'd like to flow. And we're going to look at Sakshi and Jamshir. And I know with your situation in particular, it's a little bit tricky at times. So let's just see. Okay. So a lot of the same on some levels. Okay. I think the last couple of weeks have been a little bit harder for him. And I know on some level, I think that you use these readings to like check in, like what's going on. Because, right, you don't really know what's going on and you can only trust your experience. But we have fighting, right? The Five of Wands is fighting. I'm seeing this as internal fighting with himself about his choices, about what he can do, about where he can move from. I'm also seeing the Five of Cups, where there's a lot of focus and energy for him on the sadness. This could be some of you as well. Like, oh my God, like focusing on what isn't there instead of what's right behind you, right? What's in the day to day. And I know, Sakshi, that you are working on yourself tremendously right now. I know you're trying to stay positive and to do that work. And so I really honor you in the process. And I also know that when we're separated from our beloved, that it's very difficult, right? And so I think he's feeling some of that right now. I think we've seen more movement in the last couple of readings, but right now we have the world in reverse, and the world in reverse is like, it's still very positive. In reverse, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but it's hard to see. It's hard to see the way forward. It's really hard to see right now the shifts and the possibilities and things that might move, right? And so there's a lot of that, right? And then he's still daydreaming, right? But he just doesn't know how he's going to make it happen. So I would say his current thoughts and feelings are the same as they've been for you, but it's more around his internal process around it, feeling stuck, really not knowing how to flow, and yeah, having a rougher couple weeks. Now, your job is not to do anything with that. It's not to like, of course you can feel compassion for him, but it's not about like taking that on, right? Because anything that's happening is happening in his world, and you can't control that. You can't make things change. You can't make things happen. So again, what is it that you truly need, and where can you focus your energy and attention, and try to stay as positive as possible and move from there. So I hope that helps. And yes, beautiful. Nice to see you, Adeline. So nice. Hi, Ari. Beautiful to have you with us. Ariana from Rochester. Okay, perfect. We'll be with you shortly. And beautiful. And Adeline, I'll read you soon. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I so appreciate this. I so appreciate sharing it with you all, and I'm glad it makes sense, Sakshi. So I've got about 4 or 5 people. For those of you that are just joining up, know that we have lots of time to answer your questions. So I'm working with Elena now. It's good to see you. And again, we'll just see. I'm sorry, the contact's still been on and off, as we've seen before in other readings. There's that energy of the flow that he still needs to be moving through. So I'm just going to ask, I think, I'm going to change your question a little bit, Elena, as I talked about at the beginning for some of the questions that we sort of revisit. I'm going to ask it more just, what do you need to know most about Michelle right now? And what can most support you, right? What is the most supportive thing or the supportive energy that you can know about Michelle at this time? Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So there is going to be a sense of balance coming. I'm just going to see a sense of balance coming, and there is going to be a little bit more contentment. We got justice. So I don't know if you'll hear from him, if you'll have a heart-to-heart conversation, but something is going to come where there's going to be a little bit more clarity for you moving forward. My sense is he still has some things to work out and some things to do. So with this clarity, it's sort of going to be like a release from the bondage. We have a two of Swords in reverse, where you're like, okay, I can breathe, I can let go, I can trust a little bit. Everything's going to be okay. But at the same time, there's still going to be a sense of stagnancy. There isn't necessarily going to be a meeting right away. There's still going to be a sense of like, okay, like I'm ready to go, but things feel a little bit held up and a lack of movement. So it's almost like this clarity that comes, whether it's through a conversation with him or a chat with him, or whether it's just within yourself, it's going to be like, okay, I feel stable. I feel good. I'm feeling like I can exhale. And then it's like, oh my gosh, but there's stagnancy or there's stuckness, or don't really know how to like move forward in this space, in this sense. And then we have the death in reverse, right? And death in reverse is, again, nothing bad, nothing's going to die. But it's sort of like coming to a place where it's like, oh my God, it's you're going to come to a place where we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse, where you're just going to let go. And so does that let go mean that you're not going to meet him? No, not at all. It's more like you're just going to let go of this process of waiting for him or holding on. And so I think that again, there will be some clarity coming to you, but I think he's still moving through his process. And my sense is trust what you feel when you have this clarity come. So this chat, I believe it's going to be a chat probably, or internet, it might be typing, but it's going to be something where you're connecting. You're going to come to a space of greater centered. And it's really about trusting in the process, because there's still a longer timeline at place. And when we looking at like, what's he going to feel when he sees about you and sees you and things like that, like we've gotten like total fire when we've gone to that question before, like a lot of passion, a lot of dynamic energy. And it's something that we can definitely connect on and check in when he's ready to find peace with this space of stillness, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and I'm sending you so much love. And hi, Mina. I hope you're well. Okay, and we'll work with the energy again. Yes, I think he does have anxiety too. Beautiful. And hi, Johnny. It's good to see you. Hi, Shika. I'm gonna get down to you guys soon. Feel free to like my page if you're just joining. I've got time for everyone's questions right now. We've got about 3 or 4 before we get down to Kritika and then Ari, and then from there. So Mina, hi Mina. Let's see what's going on with Fahad. And again, for those of you just tuning in, feel free to like my page. And again, Mina, I'm going to take this more to you. I know, again, what do you most need to know about Fahad or your situation with Fahad right now? So again, when we come to it, it's very similar. It's interesting. I'm noticing a lot of the same patterning, and it happens all the time. I think some of this is collective, and I do think some of this is when we check in a lot on the same questions, we get similar answers, or sort of back and forth. And so the message for you from Fahad is, I don't think that he still has feelings for you. There's still energy flowing there, but it's still a lot of the same, right? We're looking at a space where he's not ready to like put the ball down or to make deeper like commitment or connection, right? There's a back and forth, and you feel that back and forth. He's feeling that back and forth, right? Especially on the very practical matters. It's not about the heart where the back and forth is. Where it is, it's more on this level of the practical. And so there's this sense of stagnancy. There's a sense of holding. There's a sense of like not being able to move forward, which can feel really sticky and very, very hard. And then we have the Emperor in reverse. And so what I feel and what I see, and this represents to me that energy of Fahad, and that he doesn't really want to do what's right. He doesn't really want to do what he's expected to do or what he's meant to do, right? There's a fire and a passion in him that's much greater than that, and that's wanting to make change. But he feels very locked into the constriction and the flow. And so, Mina, when we look at this, again, it comes back to, okay, like, first of all, what do you do with this, right? And when there is this deep connection, and yet there's so much that's going on a level of that more practical level that's sort of in the way, it's like, where is it, or what is it that you most need to know? And I'm going to actually pull another card for you around this, that can bring you more into a state of center and grace for yourself, okay? And where it's, again, you don't have to hold the balance for this other being. And so this is a beautiful card. It's the energy of Kuan Yin, and it's let it go. And so letting it go doesn't mean like that you have to like think it's over or anything like that, but it's like, let it go to the power of the universe. Open it up to divine compassion, divine space, divine energy, and give yourself permission to trust in the higher power. And it's so difficult. I one day I'll share my story with you guys because I have a karmic love connection that I'm with right now, but it shook my life. So I get what it's like when there's these bigger connections that are so intense, and yet it doesn't seem possible. Like, how can you make it happen? And how can life change that much? And so much about my process for almost 2 years was really about letting go, let go and let God, let go and let spirit, right? And so as we do that, what can flow forward and flow forth with us, right? It's big stuff. So beautiful. Okay, so let me just see what I've got. Okay, beautiful. So next we're going to Toshika. Hi, Toshika. I hope you're still here. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And so you've got a question about preparing for your exam or to take admission in the university. Okay, let's see. So let's just take a moment. And again, those of you in line, when I get through these next couple, I'll check in and make sure you're still here. Thank you so much for joining in. Feel free to like my page and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm here every week except for next week because I'm going on a magical training journey, alchemical healing. What does Toshika most need to know? What is Spirit trying to guide her forward into her path, especially around the tests or university? Hmm. Mhm. Okay, we'll start there. So there's some stress you're feeling right now. We've got the Ace of Swords in reverse, and we have the Judgment in reverse. So Ace of Swords in reverse, it's like new beginnings are now possible, but it is so not clear on what the way and the direction is. And it feels like a big deal. It feels really heavy and very, very sticky. And then we have the Judgment in reverse as well. And it's like you are in it right now. It's like you're in the mud. It's like things do not feel clear. I don't want to be like they're not supposed to be clear right now. But they're not supposed to be clear right now. There is some clarity coming your way, but you're sort of like in the mud. And it's not, if you can, like one of the things that comes to me right now, if you can not make a decision right now, I would say put it aside and don't make that decision right now. I will give you a little bit more clarity on it in a moment. Um, Fighting. So there's a seven of wands. It's sort of allowing yourself to fight a little bit, to push a little bit, to do what you can to get out of the mud. So it's hard to do that, right? But it's like, what can you do, first of all, to bring you to center? What can you do to bring you into your body? And then what can you do to give yourself more energy? So you can take the test. You're gonna have to study really hard for it if you do. Doesn't mean you won't pass. You're gonna get up there and get up to the top. But my sense is it's like whether you take the test or not, like check in with your heart, like don't, and not at this muddy time, like give yourself, if you can, even a couple days pause. But then we have the Emperor, and the Emperor is saying to me, so Emperor is Shani, it's Saturn for those of you from India and Nepal and Pakistan. Like this is the energy of the great teacher and the great provider. So there are bigger lessons here for you. There's something karmic here for you that's sort of going to push you forward. And my sense is there's going to be a clarity that comes here for you. So you might take the test and be like, oh my God, like, I don't want to do that, right? But I do think your path, at least at this point in this moment, is going to be moving forward or moving into the space. Hi, Lizzie. Moving forward or moving into the space where you're going to be going into, university or a directed space, but it will open for you. You've got to work to get there. You're going to work hard to get there. I don't want to say there's no clarity right now, but like if you could not choose, if you could sort of do both or like go towards both, see which one opens up with a little bit more ease for you and see where that space and that energy is there for you. Hey, Soulful, I already answered your question maybe like 5 minutes ago. It's good to see you. And so, yeah, so that's where I would go with it, Toshika. It's like give it a little space and time, or start the process in both directions. And then one of them is going to open up clarity. You've got guidance on your path, and the energy of Shani and that like great flow will move that way for you. It will direct you, but it's not about it being easy right now. So beautiful. Okay, so Sia, are you still here? I'm going to just read today. I'm just sort of reading forth. Once I do Sia, I'll go over the orders and make sure everyone's here. So it's great to have you. Should you get treated from Dr. Sharath, or can you get healed naturally? Okay, spinal fluid leak. I'm so sorry to hear about that. I have heard, not heard, but I know other people that have had that. And just so you know, as uncomfortable and painful it is now, I know there will be healing and healing for you. So let's check in with that. I'm going to check in first with an herbal card for you, Sia. Okay. Okay, so number one, this is not so much about the healing, but this is something that it is inviting you to slow down. That's part of why this is happening. It's the energy of raspberry leaf and raspberry, and it's create space. And so the number one thing that comes to me is that there is a deep need for nourishment and nurturing, especially on the womb or the sacral level. So that level of the second chakra, there is a sense of where can you slow down? And part of the medicine in this is for you to slow down, to nourish, to place your hands on the belly, even though I know it's probably more in your lumbar spine where you've got the leak. And if not, maybe it's higher, but where can you come down in this lower space and this lower place and allow yourself to be comforted and held? It's also a time for you to ask for help from others and to give yourself that ability to be supported, if possible, by others, because you do so much. And so some of the medicine from this leak and this energy is to get you to slow down and to get you to be able to both receive and also check in on this other layer and level. Okay. As far as the healing path, let's see, what is the best way for healing for Sia? Okay. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Okay. And my sense is it is going to be on a little bit more practical level. I'm going to just pull 5. So number one, like the way isn't clear yet. Or not the way isn't clear. I think there's actually clarity coming through the cards, but the 2 of Wands in reverse is saying it's like you're in a place where you're like, I don't really know what to do. And I know what my higher self wants to do. And I know what wants to flow forward as far as like, I'd like it just to get taken care of and healed really naturally. And yet it feels like there is a gift about doing it in the practical way. We have the Knight of Pentacles. So there is support there for you on that more physical level. There's something about the more modern, mainstream allopathic medicine that is going to be more helpful to you right now. And it's still going to take a little bit of time. Now, that doesn't mean during that time when you're resting and when you're dealing with the healing of this, that you can't do natural remedies. Those of you that know me, I am like, I want to say I'm the least allopathic person you know. I really believe in alternative healing. And at the same time, in the cards, we've got 3 pentacles and you'll see them. And that is about the more practical way. And so as you, or more physical way. And so as you rest and as you heal, feel free to use all the natural remedies you can do to heal, the homeopathy, the essential oils. I'm even wondering about like oil massage on your lower back and everything. It's going to take some time. I really get that. And you're going to feel like, oh, is this really working? Like, and why is this like causing me so much problems? By time, I'm not seeing weeks or months, maybe a couple weeks, but I'm not seeing like months and months. But it's going to take some time. And the Page of Pentacles is don't worry. Financially, everything's going to be taken care of. You can afford it. And again, it's this more practical space. The pentacles aim for that more practical energy. So use this opportunity as a time to take in that Western medicine, but at the same time, to complement it with the more alternative medicine. And then what is it that you can do to really nourish and work, especially on that second chakra? So sending you love and sending you healing energy. Those of you just joining in, I'm so glad to have you here. Feel free to subscribe my page. I love having you here. I love sharing here. And yeah, and I'm going to let you know who's in order. If you're still here, let me know because I'll make sure I get to you. So we've got Kritika, we've got Ari, we've got Adeline, Johnny 13, greater, Shlok, and that's the order. Perfect. And Mina, yes, and Lizzie, you can definitely have a reading too. Yes, and I'm just reading what's here. So Mina, I already did your session. You'll have to go back and see it, maybe 10 more minutes. Okay, beautiful. Yes, you're in line, greater. So it's going to be a little bit time. And then there is quite a long list. I just read through everybody. I think we've got about 7 or 8 people right now in front of you, Lizzie. So, okay. And I'll just go through one at a time as we get there. Okay. So starting with Kritika. Kritika, this is for UP and thoughts and intentions. Okay, thoughts and intentions. And then Ari, you are next. Thanks for subscribing and being here. For those of you just joining in, definitely will be wonderful if you like my page. And I'm here every week, except for next week. Okay. Okay, Kritika. My sense is when we look at this, and this is the reading I'm getting for so much romance this day. So I do apologize for you guys just showing up. We get great romance readings on here sometimes. But my sense is some stagnancy around UP. There's an energy of things being really held and stuck. And this card is sort of like your wish isn't coming true, right? Like he's not really able to show up. And there's something for you about like just again, letting it go, letting there be space. And from that space, there'll be more balance. And the more you feed into his energy field or into his energy space, then the more you're going to be like sort of fighting against yourself or fighting against what is and what's there. And so, so I would encourage you to let him go or not spend too much time being on him right now because he's not able or ready to show up. So hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to Ari next, and then Shika, let me know if you're here, and otherwise Adeline is next. So Ariana, that's a beautiful name, Ari, and it's wonderful to have someone from Rochester, New York. I'm coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. So will there be a guy that I'm more drawn to than the Taurus that's even more charming? If so, how will I like them more than the Taurus? So I'm going to tell you right now, before I even lay out any cards, the Taurus is great because he's like really grounded and there is that energy, but I feel like there might be someone else, right, that's going to come in. It doesn't mean don't waste time on the Taurus, like have fun with him, but there's a little bit more spark and adventure and playfulness that's out there for you. So let me just see what comes. Okay. So first I'm going to just pull a couple cards for the Taurus. I'll pull 2 cards for each. Taurus could lead to some good things though. Let me just see. And then let's see, is there someone else out there? Okay. So both of them are really, really good, different energies. And so I definitely don't want to scare you away from the Taurus because he's stable. He's visioning the future. There's an energy of future and flow there for you. And there's a sense of great happiness and contentment. The path is actually quite clear and quite simple. The challenge is, do you want simple? And I do not know this answer, but there is energy and flow out there of something that's going to shake things up. We've got the Hierophant, which to me in this reading, the Hierophant is someone who's got like a direct connection and alignment with spirit, someone who is like sort of wild and creative. By wild, not like with alcohol or drugs, but like with spirit, like a creative force that's wanting to come forth and be birthed. And with that, there comes a lot of movement and a lot of change. It's not about just like, oh, this is great and the path is so clear. There's a lot of flow and energy. It sort of turns you upside down where you doubt yourself a little bit. And there's a sense of like, wait, I'm a high priestess too. I can actually turn myself around and match this Hierophant and come together. But it also like leads you like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say insecure, but like second guessing, right? In a space of like, whoa, that this is shaking things up. But as it shakes things up, there is a potential for great connection, great stability, and a fullness that comes over time. And it pulls you down off the mountain. It pulls you down out of what is safe. So very different experiences, very different energies. My sense is the Hierophant or this being that is this creative energy will show themselves soon to you, and you'll be able to sort of tell and know, is that a path you want to follow at that time? I don't think it's necessarily hiding there in the wings, but very different energies, right? So I think stability, love, peace, a sense of being at home with the Taurus. And then that sort of creative like fire that shakes things up on a very core level of being. So I hope that makes sense. And thanks for joining today. So let's see where we are. Yeah, I don't know if it's so much about, okay, perfect, right? I don't think it's about exploring your options. I think the Taurus, again, is really safe and really beautiful. And yeah, I hear you about like the southern state energy. It's actually pretty cool. Nashville's a weird, but it's also, I don't know. I was drawn here by spirit. So yeah, I think for me, the list is still open. We probably got about 8 or 9 people. And if you do stay, you might be the last reading that we do today. And hi, Tara, it's good to see you. So it's not about exploring your options. It's about if this other being comes in, Ari, it's like, notice what it does for you, but it's a whole different pathway. You do not need to choose that pathway. And you'll know when they come in. It could also be a business partnership. It could be something else that shows up that you're able to work with, but your Taurus is very safe, very settled, and very beautiful. Okay, beautiful. And yeah, no problem, Mermaid. Feel free to like my page, you guys, if you're just joining in. I'm here every week except for next week. Hi, Shika. Okay, thanks for letting me know you're here. Adeline is next. Johnny 13, if you could let me know if you're still here because you'll be after Adeline. So let's see, Shika, where are you from, Shika? And let's see what R thinks about you. Okay. Beautiful. Interesting. So I think there is the energy. So it's interesting because there is something about R where there's an energy where he feels like home, right? Or you feel like home to him. But my sense is he's not fully ready to show up in his highest feelings or highest experience. It's the King of Cups in reverse. There is a sense of, I'll talk to you about the home part in a second. There's a sense of safety and connection he feels for you and with you, but like he's almost like not ready to go there, right? The sense of safety and connection is the 7 of Swords in reverse. And so it's like energy and life being brought back to you and being given to you. And this is to him. Like he's like, like this could be my person, right? And there's sense of safety. There's a potential on some level where there's a new beginning and that's more practical, more safe, more connected. My sense is he is not ready for that. He's not ready to show up in that fullest space. And so the next 2 cards, like I don't want you to wrap your head around too much, but we have the 9 of Swords, which is like crying. It's like not feeling good. It's like feeling like Like, things get shaken up in a way that really, yeah, that doesn't serve you, right? And then we have the star, which is sort of like a loss of hope. So I don't think you're necessarily going to go through like these nightmares or these horrible things, but it's like, oh, there's this possibility or this presence of this new beginning happening. And then it's almost like, well, is it happening? Like, it's like he takes it away, right? And I've seen this a lot in other readings today. There's a sense of like not being able to fully show up. And even though he likes you and there's this sense and this feeling of being at home or being like at home, I don't know that he's necessarily ready for that stability yet, or that stability at that time. So the invitation for you is, let's say, proceed with caution, but just be aware that even though there is a connection there, he might not be ready to step fully into it. Okay. And so Johnny 13, let me know if you're here. After that, we have great and greater. Let me know if you're here. And beautiful. No, Tanya, you're still on the list. Okay. And great. I still see great greater. So great greater. If Johnny's not here, you're number 2 in line. Otherwise, you're number 3 in line. Okay. So Adeline, I'm assuming you're still here because I know you, sweetheart. This week has been quite intense, and definitely the purification you mentioned around speaking up to your needs and self-confidence and stepping into your power is coming up. Any guidance to support the process? So we're going to work with an herbal card today, Adeline. And I hear you. Has anyone else noticed how crazy the energy has been, especially these last 4 days? I am blaming it on Mercury retrograde. And that's just it. It's just Mercury retrograde. Probably all the other planets that are in retrograde too. No, but it's been a lot. I've been a real grumpy as I move through my own stuff, and life is good. But what does Adeline need to know to support her self-confidence, her space, her beauty in expressing herself? This is one of my favorite ones. I pulled it for myself quite a few weeks ago. It's Resurrection, and it's California Poppy. So it's about honoring the dark, as I know that you're very good at. And it's about honoring this place where you go into deeper wisdom and deeper connection. Opening into the dream world. So asking for support before bed or through any healing that you receive over the next couple weeks. And giving yourself permission to connect with the elemental energies and the plant spirits, right? Especially the plants. But you're in a time of transformation. You're in a time where things aren't supposed to be all light right now. And that's part of coming into a space of finding your voice. It's like allowing like these old feelings, insecurities, challenges to come up. And as these feelings, insecurities, and challenges come up, it's like giving them space to move out. Trust in the dark of the moon, because it will bring the fullness, and trust this being part of the process. I'm going to just pull one more card for you. This is from the Ascended Masters deck. Come out of the closet. Don't be afraid. So notice where the fear is. That would be the other thing, is notice where the fear is, and where there's fear, it's like that's holding you back, and find your edge. And it's time for you to own that voice. So don't be afraid. I'm afraid of being mean. I'm afraid of like sounding not nice, right? That's often a fear, right? I'm afraid of being vulnerable. Where can you come out and own it? And where there's the biggest fear, that's your biggest invitation to do so. Okay, it's good to see you. So Johnny 13, are you here? Great greater, I know. Shlok, let me know if you're here. Beautiful. I don't see Johnny 13. So right now we'll go to great greater. It's great to see you, Priya. It's wonderful to have you here. Okay, you have some trouble. When will I get relief from the obstruction? Okay. So let's see. Feel free to like my page if you guys haven't already. I'm going to be offering September energy update soon, probably at the end of this week. Beautiful. Where are you from, great greater? Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to pull a couple cards for you. When will Priya get relief from her obstruction? So the first card I picked was energy healing, and this is the energy of Merlin. So know that the obstruction is part of a greater path for you, and notice that calling on help and support from guides, from angels, anything and everything like that, is going to be very supportive and very helpful for you right now. Trust in the bigger part of the process. And if you do have any energy healers or any friends or anybody by you that can work with you in that way, even getting a massage might be helpful, right? But Reiki, energy work, something that's going to help nourish the system to help support you as you move through this time. Beautiful. And so, and hi, Genevieve or Genevieve. It's beautiful to have you here. Let me know where you're from. I'll try to get to you today. Right now we've got probably about 5 or 6 people. And I'll just, yeah, keep moving through them and see how we get, okay? So, beautiful. Okay, and this is for great greater. Okay, so there is a period of time right now where this is all happening for a much bigger reason. So trust in the process, trust in the energy, trust in the flow. It will end. There is going to be a shift. I'm going to end with that card, but you're in it and you're going to be in it for a little while longer. I don't know that it's going to be like as intense as it's been, but the first card, I got 3 major arcana. The first card that came up is the Hermit. It's a time for you to withdraw. It's a time for you to come into a greater space. It's like you're supposed to step back. It's happening for your spiritual growth. It's time for you to let go and trying to figure it out. It's not about like just keep doing what you're doing. This is breaking apart patterns and it's bringing you into a deeper connection to spirit. And you have to just trust and wait it out. Again, guides, angels, connecting with the bigger picture because it's not coming on the physical and practical world right now. And it feels like there is no movement. There is movement, but the movement is happening on the level of spirit and in the energy and the divine energy of divine timing. We do have the Queen of Pentacles. You are going to get through it. There is going to be financial support. There is going to be support there for you, but it's going to take time. So my sense is you're going to be in it for a little while longer, at least probably, I don't like to do timelines, but with that big of stuff, at least within the next, month to 6 weeks. It's not going to necessarily get worse, but giving you that energy and that space to really, to really like be in it. And so just sending you so much love around it all okay? So beautiful. Let's see. I do not see Shlok, so we're going to move on. Tanya, are you still present? And Tanya and Lizzie, are you still present? Let me know. And we'll just go from here. Oh, Shlok is here. Okay, beautiful, Shlok. Okay, Shlok was next. And then Tanya and Lizzie, let me know if you're present because you guys will be next. So Shlok, what is Vidisha feel for you currently? What is Vidisha? What is Shlok feeling for Vidisha right now? Let's see. So beautiful to have you all with us. Thank you for joining in. Coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, so I love it because the romance readings haven't been like that great today. By that great, they've been more like challenging or sticky. So right now you're in a place of like, I'm feeling bound up. I don't really know, like, does he like me? Does he not like me? Where's this energy and where's this energy flowing? You're going to get a message real soon, potential beginnings. I think there's a spark there. There's an energetic there, maybe an invitation coming. So something that you can connect at and move through in a greater way, in a bigger way. And then we have the three of wands in reverse, but it's not going to be fast moving. There's still going to be a little bit of unknown there, even as things start to move, but he will show up in his full power for you. He's creative, he's energetic, there's flow. And in that, there will be action. And so my sense is that there is a connection there and that he likes you. And in that, like just give it a little bit of time and trust in the process. Okay. So Tanya, Lizzie, are you here? We're going at Lizzie and Tanya. And then after Lizzie and Tanya, we are going to be looking at Tara. Okay. Okay, it's a she and you're the Libra. Sorry, I was calling it a he. So my sense is that fire, she sees you as that strong man. Um, let me just go through it. Great, Tanya's here. Let me just see, and Lizzie's here. Lizzie, if you can type your question in next, and then Tanya, your question in next. So my sense is with that is, again, new beginning. There's fire. They're strong there. It's important for you to stand up as a man and in your man and in that space. And then as you do that, things are going to flow. So just trust in the process, be in your space. The Libra Virgo, I wouldn't even worry about that. It's like own your power. She sees that, she admires that, and energy is going to flow. And so Tanya, if you want to type your question, well, actually, I'll just look up. I think Tanya was next. Yeah. So the message was sent by her or her boyfriend. Okay, she ended the friendship. Oh, that's big, Tanya. And then Lizzie, you'll be next. Perfect. Hmm. Okay, so my sense is, oh, I feel for you right now. Just so you know, I really, really feel for you. Great, Tara. I think you're third in line right now. Okay, perfect. So, and so, yeah, so your friend, it may have been pressured, but from her boyfriend, definitely pressured. I see that, but she's aware of the text coming. She is aware. I see the 10 of swords. So being backstabbed, being like totally like just not good, right? Like it's like some betrayal. This happening where it's like, what's happening? Like the friendship is over. Why? You weren't expecting it. It's intense. There's a part of you holding on. There's a part of you like, I can't believe this, right? Can I trust this? There's a sense of like looking over your shoulder, not feeling comfortable, not feeling safe. Like this was a good friend of yours, right? And that this happened. And then I have the three of swords where it's like cut through the heart, and this pain. And so my sense is that she is, even if she didn't write the message, she's aware of the message. I don't feel like she's necessarily in alignment with herself right now. I feel like some of what she's moving through is through connection with her boyfriend and energy with her boyfriend. And if I had to say she was choosing something, she was choosing him over you at this time. And that might be affecting things. But there is an awareness that she has of that and so I just know I'm holding you in so much love. I understand there's a sense of feeling backstabbed. I don't think there's going to be more coming, but I would do what I could to nourish yourself and to bring yourself into a greater space of protection and peace. And beautiful. So I'm moving on to Lizzie. For those of you that are joining, I'm going to go through the list. I do think he pressured her. Yes, I do think he pressured her. I don't think it was her choice at all. I do think it was related to that and some of, I don't want to say the evilness that he is, because it's not like he's evil, but I do think it's because of some of his darkness and his control. Okay, so general reading for Lizzie. Lizzie, I'm going to pick 3 or 4 cards for you. And then I'm going to go through and just let you know who I can read for now after this. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Taking a lot of cards just to see. Okay. I think I'm going to go just, I might read all 6, I might not, but they sort of just go on and on. Same thing. So number 1, trust where you're at. Trust this holding space and trusting this place that you're in and trusting that there are things coming for you, especially right now where you can let go and open to universal flow. There's so much there for you and so much energy and flow there for you, even though it feels like you're not moving and that things are at a standstill. There will be movement soon. This is a period to both pause and to sort of let things be a little bit like turned upside down and to go say, I open into greater trust of the universe. I open into greater flow. We've got the 7. You're sort of getting a pause. You've worked really hard to get here still feels like you're still like, I can't trust, like, I don't know what's happening. And especially when things start to move, there's still that uncertainty, right? Like, I don't know, like, can I trust? But there is either going to be a man coming in, it could be as a friend, it does not necessarily mean romance, or an opportunity for some creativity around work, flow, energy that's going to come in and shake things up. I see this in the next 3 weeks to the next month, something that's going to come in, sort of sweep the energy off your feet and get you flowing, get you moving in the direction you need to go. With that, we've got the 10 of swords in reverse, 10 of wands in reverse, 5 of wands in reverse, and then the 6 of cups in reverse. And I think then it's like, once that energy moves, it's sort of like you can like let go and say, oh my God, like things are just moving and I don't have to carry this all by myself. And it's sort of like the pressure is over. You can put the load down, but it's going to take a little bit of time, and there will be a clear invitation or energy that's going to go forward and move you forward. It's going to be creative energy. So again, a creative opportunity coming through in the form of work, inspiration, art, or perhaps a love interest. If it is a love interest, lighter hair, lighter eyes, and someone that's full of fire. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Let's see, I'm going to see who's here. So we've got Tara next. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Adeline. Okay, so I'm just going to go through. Okay. So Lizzie, did I answer your question? Yes, I just answered yours. Okay, so Tara's next. And then Mermaid, are you still here? If so, let me know. Milky, if you're still here, let me know. And then I think there was one more. There's Dawar. Okay, let me know who's still here. Okay, so Tara was next. And Tara, when will your person and you talk again? Okay. My pleasure, Lizzie. So good to have you here. Okay, and Genevieve. Okay, where were you, Genevieve or Genevieve? You're in India. You are after or before Mermaid? You might be, you're after Mermaid. Okay, I'm going to finish with you, Genevieve, today. So I think we've got 3 left, Tara, Mermaid, and Genevieve. And then everyone else, I'll be here 2 weeks from today. I'm usually here every week, but next week I will be away. Okay, so when will you talk to your beloved? Where are you from, Tara? Okay. Laconia, New Hampshire. Wonderful. I've never been there. Okay, so you're in a process. Like, I want to be very clear, you're getting all reverse cards. So it's going to be a while, but there is flow and movement coming for you. You've been sort of turned upside down, topsy-turvy, 9 of Pentacles in reverse. This is a good thing. It's pushing you out of the comfort zone. Being broken up or having a shift in the relationship, a shift in the space and the energy has been good for you. It's sort of moving the energy. You were in a box before, and even though you didn't realize in the relationship or in the connection that you were in that box, it was sort of like you need to spread your wings. You need to move forward. And that's part of why the shift is happening. But it's painful. It's uncomfortable. It feels like you're sticky. You're like, wait, I'm not rising up in judgment and everything's over. It's like you're in it. And so it's going to be some time before you hear from them, if you even hear from them, because this is a bigger picture for you than around all that. So I'd say next 2 to 3 weeks, still more processing, more energy going on for your own growth. And then we have the 7 of Swords in reverse, something being returned to you, something being healed. So this is a healing that could come. My sense is it's a potential message from this person, an apology or an explanation for what went through, a healing. Now, this healing does not mean that you guys are going to get back together. You might, right? But it's more a sense of closure than anything. We have the 9 of Swords in reverse, and we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. And what these are all telling me is peace and healing, greater connection, less pain. So even though you're in the middle of it right now, know that there is a healing coming. Again, I say probably 2 to 3 weeks out, probably closer to 3, From that, a sense of fullness, your wish coming true. Now, your wish right now might be like, I want everything to go back to what it was. It's going to be your wish in the 3 weeks. What do you most want at that time? Coming to a space of abundance and flow within that. Things are going to feel okay. You're going to feel more settled within yourself, and there may be a healing with the relationship, but this is definitely more on a sense of your spiritual path and your sense of being. We also have the Hanged Man in reverse, is that at that time, after there's been this healing, there will be time to take action. You'll be able to speak your truth and to move forward in a greater way and in a bigger way. And then it'll be time to move forward, and the steps will become clear then. But right now, you're in the midst of a great purification and a space to do healing so that you can really come into greater connection and center within yourself. Also, to feel a little bit stronger in your power when you do connect and show up, or not show up, but you cannot connect with the other person. So give it a little bit more time, okay? And sending you so much love to New Hampshire. Okay, beautiful. So now we're next at Mermaid, like number 18, current feeling of your love interest for you. He's a Scorpio and I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Scorpio too. Yeah. Okay. Where are you from, Mermaid? Hmm, interesting. Hmm. Sorry, I keep saying, there's so many reverse cards coming up today. Okay. So there's something here. Now, your current love interest, I don't want to say I don't know if he's the one, but there is a love interest out there, and there's a couple different things coming through. So we have the Tower in reverse. So like something's going to shift for you. Something is going to be pulled out from under the rug. There's big change, big flow. Now it could be that Scorpio energy coming through, but it's also like life is not necessarily going to give you what you think it is right now. And so as things get sort of shifted or flown up, we have the King of Pentacles, which is stability. I do not see this as a Scorpio. I see this as another being coming in that's here, that's going to bring you support. And as we're talking, as I'm talking to you, I don't even necessarily see this as a love interest. This is a big brother, a good friend, someone, not a father, but someone that's here to help you and support you, that's holding a grounded energy, that's here to say, this is what's important. And whatever the shakeup is that's happening or going to happen, that's sort of unexpected, I do see it around love life, right? Because that's where your question was. I see it about something coming out of the blue that you're not expecting. It's going to actually open your heart and make you take your blinders off. And I think what comes to this is like this king of the Scorpio, or this king of wands, like he's not showing up at his highest self or his truest self right now. He's sort of all over the place, and he's not ready to commit. And so maybe some of that is like you just wanting this real bad, right? And the Tower's like he's not able to show up, and yet he's got a magnetism, so it like turns things up inside down for you all the time. And then we have the six of swords in reverse, but there's no movement there. And in that process of no movement, so it's like giving it space, giving it time. I see all this within like a really short time span, like again, 2 weeks to a month. After you like sort of like let it go and give it space, then healing happens. We have the 10 of swords in reverse, and we also have the 5 of swords in reverse, where there's going to be clarity, there's going to be peace. So I'm almost wondering if there's some sort of betrayal happening, or where you feel betrayed, or you feel like, oh, you showed up in one way and then you didn't in the other way. And not that's a misunderstanding, but it like shakes things up. And then there's a healing that's going to happen around this in about 3 to 4 weeks. And with this, there's going to be a direct line with spirit. Now, this is either another being, or it's that Scorpio that's going to show up after he's done his work, after he's sort of healed whatever it is that's shaken things up. But there is going to be a connection with someone that's more aligned with spirit and more in awareness of spirit and able to show up in their true potential. And so my message to you is, don't sacrifice or don't give in to anybody in any relationship unless you feel like they're showing up in their highest and their truest potential. Um, yes, I wouldn't say that there's not love, but he's not able to fully show up, right? Dewar, I'm sorry, I don't have enough time. You were right at the end, and Mermaid was going to be my last one, and I'm going to do one more after her. But if you show up next week, anytime for 2 to 3 Central Time, I'll do my best to get a reading in for you, okay? And so yes. And so yeah, so it's more around that. I think I answered it, Mermaid. I hope that makes sense. And so sorry for those of you that haven't gotten the reading. The last reading I'm going to do today was for Genevieve. And you guys in India, I just have to say again, I am so impressed because I know it's so late there. I go to bed like at 9 o'clock. So it's amazing to see. If I've missed you today, I do so apologize. We have Genevieve. Any message for you with regard to finances? I want to get into entrepreneurship. I know you did, Dewar. You were still after, I think you were still after, hold on. Yeah, you were still after the readings that we're doing. So I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. I've been reading for an hour, and if you stick around and I have a time after Genevieve, I can maybe do one more. I'll just see what time it is and where my energy is. I want to make sure my readings are clear. Okay, so here we go. Thanks for liking me. Thanks for following me. Okay. And here we go. So what does Genevieve know or need to know about finances and entrepreneurship? Ah. Okay, so a couple things. So yes, new beginnings are possible. Go for it. Trust in entrepreneurship. Go for it. Flow forward. It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen the way you think. So right now, there might be someone you're thinking about being in partnership with. There's someone that you might have been thinking is going to be the way forward and that's going to lead it forward. It's not going to be that person. Or if it is, there will be sort of like something that you break apart with first, and then there'll be a healing that comes together. There's something really important about you doing it alone. The hermit, it's like going and doing it your own way, definitely being your own boss and moving in that space and that energy and that flow. But it's not going to happen in the way that you think. So if there's a partnership there, or if there's something that's happening in that sense, know that it might shift. The partnership or this helper that was going to help you, Genevieve, it's not going to end the relationship. It's not going to end the friendship. There will be a healing there. They're going to apologize, or they're going to be able to show up, but they're not the person you're supposed to go into business with. And so know that, yes, you're meant to move forward. There's going to be work. There's going to be flow. You're going to do well. You need to be your own boss, and it really is doing it on your own. Okay. And Dewar, I will do yours very, very, very quickly, and then we're done for the day. Feel free to join me here every Tuesday at 2, except for next Tuesday. And Dewar's reading, last reading for the day, I have to go back and find it. Okay. What are the true feelings of Viom for you? Okay, this is it. Okay. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So like a lot of the love feelings today, there is like a back and forth. So we've got the 6 of Wands, which is saying there is like victorious, you're victorious, and there's energy and that they like you, and it's the energy that's flowing and moving. And there is like, yes, like ride happy and be in that space. But then there's back and forth. So even though there is a desire there, there is a attraction there. There's still a sense of like back and forth, mixed messages coming your way, not that much clarity in that space. And so it's a sense of like looking forward. We've got the Three of Wands, not really knowing where to go. And it's like, so there's this energy of like, well, they like me, but it's not moving. And I can see all this possibility, but there's not that much energy flowing forward. We do have the King of Wands. This came up a couple of readings ago as well. And so again, if Viome is a man, this could represent the man. If you're the man, it could represent you. But it's standing strong in the fire and the power. It's trusting, if it is the other person, that they will own their power and come for you when they're ready, and knowing that there is a dynamic energy there. Yes. And so they will come and they will lead the reins. You have to wait for that and allow that to happen. But it's going to take a little bit of time. And there still is this back and forth, and it's not going to be immediately in the next couple weeks. So find the peace within yourself, envision the future and the energy you want, and then trust in the timing. And when they're ready, they'll be the one that shows up. Okay. So I hope that made sense. I want to thank you all for being here. If I did not get to your reading today, I am so sorry. I do the best I can with the list. I will be here 2 weeks from today. And I'm sending you all so, so, so much love, wishing you the most beautiful day wherever you are. And yeah, see you soon. Bye. And